Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal, the Nootropic Reviewer, doing a side-by-side comparison of Rhodiola Rosea and Ashwagandha, which are two compounds I've been using on and off for the past 10 years. Here's what the powders look like. I've got the Rhodiola Rosea and Ashwagandha, and I'll take it in capsule form or powder. So the Rhodiola Rosea powder is more like brownish color. The Ashwagandha is a yellowish color with the texture being a little bit more fine. Capsules will be between 300 to 500 milligrams, but the powder doesn't taste that bad. Ashwagandha, I've mostly taken time off, whereas Rhodiola Rosea, I will use it almost every single day of the year, and that's because I absolutely love what it does for my productivity and for my stress levels. And these are the two natural nootropic supplements that have the most research backing their effectiveness with relieving stress while having minimal side effects. And there's two classes of nootropics. We have synthetic compounds, and these are man-made compounds like modafinil or the racetams. And then we have naturally occurring compounds, so like Rhodiola Rosea, Ashwagandha, Bacopa monnieri, lion's mane mushroom, L-theanine. And what I like about these compounds is that they are naturally occurring, and fortunately we do have some research done on the effects, not only short-term but long-term as well. Whereas especially recently we've seen a lot of newer nootropics come onto the scene, and they have some research suggesting that they may be beneficial with relieving stress, although we don't have the long-term research or studies that go back 20 plus years. So Ashwagandha is a small evergreen shrub that grows in India, the Middle East, some areas of across Africa, and Rhodiola Rosea is a perennial flowering plant, and it grows naturally in wild Arctic areas of Europe, Asia, and North America. And surprisingly, I actually came across Rhodiola Rosea before I came across Ashwagandha. This was many years back, and I was looking online like many of you, looking for the best nootropic out there, and I headed over to a local store, and Rhodiola Rosea, my gosh, it was expensive and I couldn't afford much of it, but I definitely wanted to give it a shot, and boy, I was impressed, because after one serving of Rhodiola Rosea, I immediately felt clear-minded. I felt a natural energy boost. My appetite was suppressed to some extent, and I was more able to focus. And then at the same time, I was a bit disappointed because the product was so expensive and I couldn't afford much of it. So while I was happy that the compound worked, I was also disappointed, asking myself, how could I afford this product because it's not within my budget? And I remember taking Rhodiola Rosea every day that month, and my productivity was far higher. My grades in school were better. I also had a part-time sales job. My sales were higher than the associates within my office. And I wouldn't say Rhodiola Rosea made me Superman, but it made me such that I was able to perform at my optimal cognition for more hours during the day. So usually what happens is we have maybe like 4 to 6 hours where we can be the most productive possible, and then we start to get, of course, fatigued, and naturally our higher level thinking and skills starts to decline. But then what happens is if you use a compound like Rhodiola Rosea, it really eliminates fatigue, and then as a result, not only are you having longer work days, but you're doing the most productive activities. And for that reason, I've always referred to Rhodiola Rosea as a nap and a pill because of the refreshing effects. It's suppressing your appetite and improving your focus. And the way I came across Ashwagandha was actually following using some other adaptogens or stress relieving compounds like Bacopa monnieri, which I enjoyed, and then lion's mane mushroom, and those compounds really helped me to detach from the outcome, be more present, and I wanted to take that to another level. So I was really intrigued about using Ashwagandha as a cognitive improving supplement. And while I did enjoy the benefits, I also felt like this is a compound I don't necessarily need in my snack. Like, sure, it improves my baseline mood to some extent, but I need to take a lot of Ashwagandha, and I need to take it for several weeks for me to start noticing the benefits, whereas with other compounds, I could take them and instantly notice that they were doing something. And while Rhodiola Rosea and Ashwagandha do have similarities, I actually feel like they're very different compounds, and that Rhodiola Rosea is a bit more stimulating, it's more energizing. I look at Rhodiola Rosea more for productivity, whereas Ashwagandha is probably better in the class of handling stress, feeling more peace, enjoying the process or enjoying your work. Although at the same time, a lot of people would actually argue that they feel more productive when they're using Ashwagandha. I'm not one of those users. I feel like I would need to use something to increase my dopamine levels while using Ashwagandha, like Noopept or like L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine is an amino acid that really helps you to stay focused. I've talked about it more in this video over here. And there's some light research suggesting that Ashwagandha may actually help you with your athletic performance. It'll help you in the gym. It may help to increase levels of testosterone. I personally don't think Rhodiola Rosea or Ashwagandha are any good at the gym. I noticed that when I ingest Rhodiola Rosea prior to working out, I have a little bit of a crash there afterwards. I also don't like using it mid-workout. And when I use Ashwagandha, I feel a little bit fatigued. It's nothing too strong. I wouldn't be that concerned, but I don't see why you would use it pre-workout. If there's any benefit maybe Ashwagandha has over Rhodiola Rosea, it's the fact that Ashwagandha does actually help with sleep quality. I also like some of the higher concentrations of Ashwagandha if I'm going to use it for that purpose of going to sleep. And if you're asking yourself which of the two may be right for you, it would really depend on what your goal is. It depends on what you're going through and what some of your challenges are. If you're like me and you've done your best to optimize your nutrition, your exercise, and you're looking for that extra boost of productivity, then I think that Rhodiola Rosea is the best fit benefit for you, because again, you'll get a few extra hours of work done each day. However, if your goals are more around stress management, maybe you've got a great job, but you can't stand how you're feeling during the day, you don't feel present, you're not enjoying it, or you're going through something traumatic, then I think ashwagandha is far better than Rhodiola Rosea. As a matter of fact, I actually noticed that Rhodiola Rosea does slightly increase my anxiety levels, but it's nothing too significant, and I think that every compound out there that does boost focus will, as a result, increase anxiety. And if you're going to go ahead and try either or compound, then the way you may want to get started is by taking it once per day. And with Rhodiola Rosea, a serving size of 300 milligrams is a good place to start with. You can try that for a week. If you're feeling good with the usage, then you can increase your serving size to 500 milligrams and take it twice per day. I personally don't see any need to take Rhodiola Rosea in the morning, given that it fights off fatigue. So the best time that I typically take it is around 12 o'clock p.m. and then I'll take it again at 5 o'clock p.m. That way, as the day is progressing and my concentration is diminishing, I can use some Rhodiola Rosea as a pick-me-up. And something I love about Rhodiola Rosea is that it's a very flexible compound. It doesn't matter whether you take it in a fasted state or a fed state, or if you take it later on in the day, that should be okay. Just be mindful. It may keep you up at night if you take it too late. And you may be one of those lucky users that is a responder to Rhodiola Rosea and you notice it working. Like, I'm fortunate, after using it for so many years, I still notice the benefits following ingestion, as well as the longer term benefits. But with ashwagandha, the serving size of 300 to 500 milligrams twice per day is actually a good place to start. Ashwagandha has a very long half-life compared to other compounds, and you really want to get it like saturated in your system for you to notice it starting to work. The first time I used ashwagandha, I probably didn't notice it working for about 2 to 3 weeks. Some users notice an acute benefit. I think I get maybe like a more of a longer term benefit, but a slight acute benefit, or you can say acute disadvantage, in that I feel a little bit fatigued following using the compound. And I really see no need to exceed a serving size of 500 milligrams for either ashwagandha or Rhodiola Rosea. I don't think the compounds matter that much, or where you get the product from. Although I'm using the forms from Nootropics Depot, I have been for years, and I'm enjoying the product. And there are very mixed opinions on when you should be taking your ashwagandha. Some people actually enjoy taking it first thing in the morning. I personally don't. These days, I'm taking ashwagandha more closer to bedtime, as I like the benefit in that it helps me to calm down a little bit. And with respect to the side effects, you should be far more concerned about ashwagandha than Rhodiola Rosea, because the side effects of ashwagandha, they are subtle, but boy, they will hit you. Because one of the most common phenomena when using ashwagandha is you feel demotivated, you feel unproductive. Like I mentioned, sometimes you feel a bit lethargic or tired. And so that's something you should watch out for, because users have actually noticed, like several months after using ashwagandha, that hey, I feel great when I'm using ashwagandha, but I'm not getting much done. And there are some other lesser reported side effects when you're using ashwagandha, like skin issues that sometimes happens. Hair loss, I wouldn't be concerned about. Some individuals actually notice a drop in libido. With respect to Rhodiola Rosea, anxiety is somewhat common. Insomnia is also common if you take it too close to bedtime, but most of the research do actually suggest that both compounds are healthy for you and have minimal side effects. And I'd love to know your thoughts about both of these compounds. Are you team ashwagandha? Are you team Rhodiola Rosea? I'd love to see in the comment section below. And if you want to chat with me one-on-one, you can message me on Patreon, and be sure to visit our Discord server. And I appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you next time.